All right, so here we are getting ready for our final story that we're going to hear before we get to the celebration of Easter on Sunday morning. But before we dive into the actual book, I wanted to walk us through something that will help us get in the mindset, help us better understand what is so important about this story, but also why we call today Good Friday. So I want you to think back. Maybe you don't have to think that far back, but think about a time when you had a really, really bad day. Maybe something bad was happening, or maybe something sad was going on, or maybe you just didn't know how you were going to get through whatever it was that you were going through. Well, those things and this story that we're about to read remind us of something very important about God. God is able to take even the worst of days, the worst of circumstances, and actually make something good come out of it. That's part of what it means. That's part of what it means when we say that God loves us, right? God doesn't just sit back and watch as things fall apart or as we struggle, but God is actually here to be with us and to help turn those things around for our benefit. God can take some of the worst things and actually turn them into something good for us. So that's what's happening in our story that we're about to read right now. We are meeting Jesus and his disciples on their very, very worst day. And it's a sad story, and some really, really hard things are going to happen. But fortunately, we can trust and believe that God is going to take this sad day, this bad day, and turn it into something really, really good, not just for Jesus, but for all of us. Now, some of you probably already know how this story ends when we get to Easter Sunday morning. But for those of you that don't, that is the day that we celebrate Jesus' victory over this very, very bad moment, over this very, very bad day. So as we read this story, it will be a sad one. It will probably be a hard one to hear. But I want you to remember that this isn't the end of the story, that God is here, that God is at work, and that he's taking this very bad day and turning it into a good day. And that'll probably give you a hint as to why today is called Good Friday and not Bad Friday. All right, so if you've got your Spark Bible, we are going to look at page 476. As always, I'm going to read it for us and you can follow along. That's page 476. Here we go. It was a very sad day when Jesus died. The soldiers who had arrested Jesus teased him for pretending to be a king. They took his clothes and put a king's purple cloak on him. They made a crown of vines with sharp thorns and put it on Jesus' head. Ouch! The soldiers made Jesus carry a heavy wooden cross. The cross was too heavy for him. Jesus fell and skinned his knees, and the cross tumbled to the ground. A man in the crowd carried the cross the rest of the way. The soldiers nailed Jesus' hands and feet to the cross. They raised Jesus' cross up on a hill between two other men. The other men were thieves, and they were being crucified too. One of the men was angry with Jesus. "If you are a powerful king, can't you save yourself? Why don't you save us too?" The man spat at Jesus. But the other thief believed in Jesus. He shouted back, "Don't you know who this is? This is God's son. He hasn't done anything wrong. We are being punished for our mistakes, but Jesus shouldn't be here." The man turned to Jesus and asked, "Will you take me to heaven with you?" Jesus looked at the man and loved him. Jesus told him, "Yes, today you will be in heaven with me." After a while, the world grew very dark, as if a terrible thunderstorm was coming. It was as if all of creation was crying because Jesus was about to die. Jesus was feeling all alone and prayed to see if God was still there. Of course, God never left Jesus. God was with Jesus the whole time. Jesus looked at the crowd. He was so sad that people didn't believe that he was God's son. He asked God to forgive them for killing him. The soldiers offered him some sour wine, but he didn't want to drink it. He was ready to die. Finally, Jesus had fought for long enough. He said, "God, the work you gave me to do here is finished." He breathed a final, long, slow breath, and then he died. So like I said, that is the end of our story for today, but that's not the end of the whole entire story. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday when we can celebrate what actually happens after this very bad day. But until then, if you've got any questions, if you've got any thoughts, if this story confuses you or scares you, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions or have any conversations that you guys might be interested in. So yes, that is it for today. Happy Good Friday, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.